So, hello, my Franz, and welcome back to yet another episode of your favorite ocean centric podcast from Atlantic Canada. I'm your host, Andi, and you're listening to WaveCast. We have a very special event coming up soon at the Marine Institute where we'll be hosting this year's Marine Advanced Technology Education, or MATE, ROV, Remotely Operated Vehicle, World Championship. To talk with us about this event and the MATE ROV program are MI's own Michaela Barnes, a hydrographer in the Center for Applied Ocean Technology and alumna of the MATE program, along with Joe Singleton, the head of the School of Ocean Technology and the Newfoundland Labrador MATE ROV Regional Coordinator. Thanks so much for joining us today, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks. Excited to be here.
Yay! Perfect. Give me a lot of guns today. So, to get our listeners in on the same page, can you describe what the MATE ROV competition is?
Sure, love to. The MATE ROV competition is really a STEM-based, is based in robotics, underwater robotics. So we've got to build an ROV, which means remotely operated vehicle, which is just essentially underwater robot. But the key thing is based around real-world tasks and teams setting themselves up as a company or entrepreneurial company that has to bid on a job. So the tasks change every year. So the ROV has to do things underwater to complete the tasks. And it's all based around, I guess, ocean technology or ocean science. So really, it definitely pulls out the engineers and techie group of students. But when you look at some of the tasks like this year, one of them is around invasive species, green crab. So there's that budding marine scientists in that group of kids that, hey, I'm really interested in the biology of the ocean, right? The RV is just a tool to kind of, as part of that job, but it interests those kids as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. It's really funny because I was actually involved in a very similar program in high school. And so it was the FTC, like First Tech Challenge, and then there's FLL and then FRC. But either way, what's it called? So as far as MATE goes, how does that work?
So
the operation.
Yeah, so we do a regional competition every year. We host the only one in Canada here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and it's we reach out to junior high school students and high school students, and they compete in two different classes. They compete in a scout class for junior high school and a ranger class for high school. We're doing essentially at the end of the day the same mission, but how they do the mission gets more technically challenging as you go up from scout to ranger. And I'll say the bigger world of MATE, there's another class called Pioneer, intended for colleges. And then there's Explorer, intended for universities or really good teams in high school or college. And same thing, now it goes to more complicated completion of tasks. So if you can imagine scout, they might have to pick up a coral sample. And a coral sample might have a big rope loop on it that's really easy to hook into with the tooling on your ROV. But by the time you get up to Ranger, all those easy grab points are gone, and they need to be more sophisticated tooling to be able to pick up that piece of and recover that piece of coral. So we do regional every spring. So we reach out to schools, and I'll say after school clubs. We had the girl guys with the team this year. Proud Avenue Center had a team as well. So we've kind of expanded our scope. Generally, it was mostly looking at school groups, but we definitely are reaching out to reach more people, provide lots of funding to help them start up teams and get them here and stuff like that. So it's pretty, like I said, it's a year-long event from starting in the spring to conclude up with the World Championships in June. And our Ranger teams, they qualify top two teams generally, and our Ranger competition qualify for Worlds in June.
I see. So for one of those regional competitions, how many people do you usually, or I guess how many teams do you usually see at those?
So this year on the regional, I think we have 20, looking at my counterpart here, Michaela, 21 Ranger teams.
20 Ranger teams?
20 Ranger teams.
And 13 Scout.
And 13 Scout teams.
Wow. Yeah. So 33 total teams at our regional this year. Yeah. Gee, that feels pretty big.
It is big.
Yeah, we are, the regional started in 2003. 2006. So the first regional competition started in 2006, and it's been growing every year since. Obviously, when the pandemic hit, we stopped having regional competitions and the numbers kind of dropped off. But we've been growing back every year since, and we're pretty much back to our pre-pandemic attendance numbers again this year, and still growing every year. Oh wow, that's really impressive. Okay. And so how do you think in the grand scheme of things you see, um, I guess, I guess how many people know about MATE, would you say, compared to, I guess, in your ideal world you'd be shooting for? Not enough. In our ideal world, everybody in the province and the country would know about MATE, because it's such an impactful experience for the students, and we see that in how their lives turn out after they come through MATE and the things that they study and the people that they grow into. So the more people that we can reach, the better. 33 teams is great. We love 40 next year and keep growing until we can't fit anymore, basically. Sure. How does one form a team? So usually it starts with we reach out to them or they connect to us to hear about MATE somehow. We'll connect them with resources. So that includes some funding and a kit, like a robot kit that we provide. That kind of gets them started, as well as some funding to buy tools. And there's a lot of online resources and tutorials on how to build these kits. So basically, a teacher or maybe a community organizer will get together, get a group of kids together, and they'll unpack the kit and get started. And then they'll call us when they have any questions, and we get on a video call or phone call, or go visit them in person if we can, to help them kind of put it together. And then we provide for teams out of St. John's. We provide travel funding. So teams might start building the ROV. Some start in September. Some start as late as even early March this year. Just like a couple weeks. Some brave souls decided to pick it up in early March and come to the competition in May. So they spend all that time building a robot, and it all culminates in the regional competition in May. So we provide travel funding for teams outside of St. John's to come in and put their robots to the test. That's awesome. One thing I'm very curious about is when a team is coming together to work on just like in like a normal session, like where they're working on their ROV, like what does that look like?
So I guess we can probably describe more so what we experienced. We both mentor Eastern Edge Robotics and Michaela, Western Wave Robotics. That's our close secondary teams from the province. Eastern Edge, we'll say, the name implies they're from the East Coast, so Memorial University and the Marine Institute mostly, and Western Wave, Grenfell students and College of North Atlantic students over in Portland. So from here to day, as you see the team come in, they divvy themselves up like a company. There's a CEO, chief financial officer to keep track of the money. Then there's an electrical lead, there's a mechanical lead, there's payload lead, and they form the groups. And when they get to the right point, is they're really focused on the groups and bringing that together, system together, keep that ROV. Schools, there's a whole document that actually is based on Eastern Edge's kind of methodology of forming a team that they wrote 15 odd years ago. That also same resources for a teacher. Hey, how do you even run a robotics team? But hey, this is a great document to, I'll say, borrow ideas from or borrow all the ideas. And you see kind of the other schools set up in the same structure. You definitely see that from their marketing displays because they show their company organization or team organization, and you see those similar roles. And it's really where people gravitate to. I think it was a couple years ago, we had one kid, I might have been Beaconsfield, and all she wanted to do was code. So write code type thing. So again, she gravitated towards, there was one mission where you had to do vision recognition. So she was super interested in the code. I just want to write code. Like so that's the cool thing is there's different areas for, and again, like I said, there's marketing displays. So I don't want to be electronic. I don't want to solder. I want to build this cool poster or marketing display. So there's kind of something in it for almost everyone.
Wow. Kind of going in like something that I mentioned earlier with like the things that people take away from the program. Like, can you put it's not pen to paper per se, but like what are some of the things that participants take away from the program? Well, there's the the pretty obvious first one that people think of is the technical skills. And then you get a lot of that. They might learn about soldering or electronics, some basic principles in physics like buoyancy and gravity and propulsion, all these types of things. So they get, some science theory. They also get some really practical hands-on skills of using tools and building and putting things together. Then there's kind of the more abstract, but I think probably the most useful skills that we get out of it, which is about problem solving and managing a project or starting something from start to finish. So I think what's probably the most impactful and great about the program is I think it teaches students that they can look at a problem that seems really hard and impossible in its day and work through the problem and come up with solutions, find the problems with those solutions and iterate and then come up with better solutions. And at the end of the day, have something that they built with their own hands that they could have never dreamed of a couple months ago. And I think the lesson from that is, you can do hard things. You can learn things from scratch. Just because you don't know something now doesn't mean you can't learn it and perfect it. Sure. And then there's also the leadership and project management skills that they get from it.
Teamwork,
learning to work with other people, work with people you got heads with, and learning how you feel and how you react in those situations.
Timelines, deadlines, budgets. Like Michaela mentioned, failure. There's a lot of failure in this, and learning from your failures and how to deal with those failures and move on. And you see it right at the competition. Failures right at the last minute or 5 minutes before you're going on deck. Something breaks. How do you get it back up and running? Yeah, we always say this is a safe place to fail. That is the environment we're creating is a safe place to fail. And as much as it feels very stressful to the students when things are going wrong, I think one of the best things they get out of it is that they learn how they react in those moments of stress. And, they get to experience stress in an environment where the stakes feel really high, but actually aren't really that high. Yeah, I feel that a lot. I think it's really important to foster that sort of environment. How does your perspective, have you as mentors learned or gained anything? Kind of flipping the script compared to the competitor. A lot of patience. I think we've learned a lot. I think every year we joke all the time that they're building a robot and we're building a team, or we're trying out strategies of mentoring and coaching that sometimes flop. And just like the team is having debriefs at the end of the year about how they built their ROV, we're having debriefs. So okay, that type of meeting didn't really work, or this type of pressure didn't work. With maybe we should apply pressures in different ways, or give advice in a more productive or useful way. We're learning every year, kind of get better at it. And even the team dynamic changes there. You get some consistency because students, we look at engineering students, are sometimes there for 5+ years, and other students 3, 4. So the team changeover is there sometimes, and it's fairly consistent. But even understanding if they want to just be there for fun, we just want to build our, we hang out with each other every Saturday and sometimes Wednesday all day, and we'll build a robot at the end of it. We'll compete, we'll have fun, but whether we come first or last, it's the journey along the way type thing, versus we're here to dominate. We're going to rebuild all the hardware type thing. So it's really and you got to, again, change your mentoring style to what, and as much as we like to say, we're here to dominate. We always do. Because Eastern Edge does have a very storied tradition of many first place finishes, second, thirds. They're always known as to the rest of the competition as one of the teams to look out for. So it's kind of I'll say it's embedded in their DNA or culture of the team, is that they've always been competitive. But like I said, sometimes it's a great opportunity just to have a robotics club and have fun and hang out with people and have something built at the end of the day. Yeah. Cool. And they also teach me how much I have an engineering degree, but how much I've forgotten, or how much of my technical skills have I lost in the last 10 years of how to be away from it. It's like, you're doing what now?
So I guess more into like the history of the program. Do you know how like MATE in and of itself and then also at the regional level came to be? MATE ROV itself started in the 90s. So it started as a National Science Foundation grant in the US. And it was, an auto robotics program that spun out into a competition. So that competition's the first one ever was in 2002. Um, and I'm not sure where it was hosted.
I would guess California. We're going to say California.
Okay. So MATE ROV itself is a nonprofit that is based out of the United States, but they have a huge global reach, of course. We're one of the several international locations. So they started this World Championship or international competition in 2002. How it came to Newfoundland is that in 2003, a robotics club that was called the Avalon East School District Robotics Club. That was started by a couple different people, Tom Donovan, Clark Button, the others I'm sure missing, and of course Dwight House, who worked here at the Reyes too. So Avalon East School District competed in the second ever MATE ROV competition in 2003 at MIT. And the rest is kind of history. So they competed there. They placed pretty well and continued coming back year over year. In 2006, Dwight and a few others decided to start the regional program and start bringing this to high school students. And Avalon East School District eventually turned into Eastern Edge as the students on that robotics club graduated high school and started going to university. They wanted to compete in MATE while they were still in university, so they started Eastern Edge. And here we are now, 24 years later, and the team is still competing and still doing well. And we've also now spun out this great
Western Wave Robotics spun out of it. And if you really look at the bigger thing, even so, one of the students that came up through MATE in high school went to the University of Ottawa and said, "Hey, I'm going to start up a team here." So, like our worlds, there's going to be 7 Canadian teams?
8 Canadian.
8 Canadian teams. So University of Ottawa and Trafalgar Castle, they're a high school team out of Ajax, is it? Or Whitby, Ontario. They actually come to our regionals now. They used to go to a regional down in Pennsylvania.
Oh my God.
And then they're kind of like, hey, we're great, they're going to go to Canadian ones. So they become to our region for the last couple of years. And then we have Eastern Edge is obviously competing. Clairville High School, Michaela's alumni, who she competed back when she was in high school. And did you guys win first place?
We did win first place.
And I would say Clairville came first at the regionals this year in Ranger class. Not to jinx or anything, but I think they had a good shot this year to probably place in the top 3. So I'm going to put it up there now.
Okay, put the pressure on.
So yeah, we got Clairville, we got Holy Heartberry, we got Labrador Straits. Labrador did a strong team for the last couple of years as well. And the last one was
St. Mark's.
St. Mark's
Robotics out of
Kings Hope. So excellent representation from Newfoundland, Labrador and Canada as well.
A couple of different paths to go down here. So like, what does having hosting the World Championship here mean to y'all, to the program, to MI, to Newfoundland, and then also just like having a MATE regional in the area mean for the local vicinity?
Anytime you get to bring 1,000 plus, I'll say youth that are interested in robotics, STEM, the ocean type thing, that's a great opportunity for us to showcase what we like to say is what we're leading our research and academics and programs in those areas. So I'll say one good thing is a great recruitment tool.
Sure.
You get a concentration of that like-minded people all in the same area, for sure. Showing off the facilities, I'll say, I'm going to argue we have the best World Championship, so regionals, obviously. So we do one of our tasks in our flume tank, which has the underwater viewing gallery. So essentially, you've probably seen before, you're sitting under the surface of the water and you're looking in and you're seeing all the action in real time. And then normally when you go in, it's at a swimming pool and you're getting a video of what's going on in the pool. So it's the most, as close as you can get to the real action as possible. And then we're down at our seed facility. So just the sheer size of that, you see all the big models that they have down there. So for the techie, people that see that as they go in that facility and the capabilities of it and the type of research we're doing on there is just an industrial research center. So just that environment is a big wow factor as well. I will say the team competed 2016 in Houston, Texas at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab, NASA Neutral Buoyancy Lab.
Wow.
So they have the full space station underneath the competing area. So I would say that's second place of all the World Championship venues that we've been to. I'm going to say the Marine Institute, Memorial University, and NRC. So the number one.
Yes, yeah.
Neutral Buoyancy Lab, that's Houston. Number two.
The International Space Station, number two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So like you said, it's great to host. I think we got 18 countries for the World Championships. So it's, like I said, great time to show off the ocean tech side of things that we do here in Newfoundland and Labrador, and a great place for them to come and study after us when they say, hey, this is the place I want to go.
Okay. Yeah, and I've met students at past competitions, and then next fall or fall after, see them walking down the hallways and saying, hey, that guy for Turkey. Well, he's now doing a master's program here or a bachelor's or whatever. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And it also, Newfoundland is the only international location to have hosted a MATE ROV World Championships. So they're typically somewhere in the United States.
US, yeah.
Yeah, they're in California.
It has been in Hawaii, but I haven't been lucky.
It hasn't been in our time, unfortunately. So yeah, they've been all over the States, and the only time that they leave the United States is actually to come to Newfoundland. So they came in 2007, and 2015, and now again in 2026. So I think that really speaks to not only Newfoundland and Labrador's history with the ROV and having one of the longest running regionals, but also just how we are a center and a hub for ocean technology, and it's recognized globally. And it's really cool to have everybody coming here and, learning about Newfoundland, learning about not just our movies, but also our culture and, getting to see some amazing sites. And like, I guess that's something that I'm very curious about is like, do people competing here actually have the time to explore a little bit while they're out here? Or are they just kind of like stuck in there competing all the time? They should have some time to explore. So the competition schedule or schedule of events, it starts on Tuesday with check-in and safety. So many teams will be between Tuesday and Wednesday having their ROVs inspected to make sure that they're safe. There's no hazards to themselves or others when they're going to be operating. Then the competition events start on Thursday. So there will be open ceremonies, and then everybody is scheduled for different times in the pool. So they have 4 different activities, 3 of which are pool tasks, times in the pool. And then the 4th one is a engineering presentation that they do. Oh, interesting. So while that sounds like a lot of activities, all the activities end every day at 6 p.m. All the official competition events end every day around 6 p.m. So they should have the evenings to explore as well. Tuesday, Wednesday, they're only here for the safety check for an hour. So lots of time to go around and explore. And Friday night, we have a social. So they're going to have, they do play some fun Newfoundland music. So yeah, they should have lots of time to explore and get around. Oh, that's awesome.
I think in 2015, there was a story going around that one of the volunteers that I'm pretty sure that's the team from whatever country I saw walking down Water Street like a month later. so I think some of them do take advantage of their time here, stay a little bit longer.
Yeah, and we're such a kind of remote province and hard to get to. A lot of people do turn it into a travel, an outstation opportunity to take vacation. I know a lot of the volunteers are staying for a week after Worlds, and I've been seeing some of the team travel plans, and a lot of her teams are actually staying for a week after as well to do some boat tours and taking the sites and all that kind of stuff. Super cool. Yeah, that's really awesome. Oh no, now it fades me. Oh, it's the second part of the question of what does the program mean to the province or our regional program? Yeah. What is the question? It's like, like what does having like a regional event mean to, I guess, the province, but also, I guess we kind of covered the institution part, but yeah, more so in the topic. I think that it's a great opportunity for the youth in the province to learn about STEM and to, get out of the house. Really, anytime you could get students, off their phones or off video games and like in person and together and working on problems, I think that it's, that's really important. And I think the impact of the program we've seen in the students that we've had start in middle school and come all the way through into our now in Eastern Wedge. And it's so wild because we're, interacting daily now with our Eastern Edge students. And I'm looking at them and thinking, I remember when you were much shorter and I have seen you every year, come up through this program. And it's been pretty cool.
And it's interesting to see where they go in their careers. So if you look at it right through the workforce development lens of how you track them right from junior high school and think about careers in ocean tech. Right. But you look and it helps us, it's all task money, so it helps us when we solicit money from sponsors and stuff like that. But you look at one of our sponsors on practical robotics, I think I gotta say half their engineers in their I think Pearl facility probably came from the Eastern Ed program. Oh. But you see them coming in with the ones that graduate now. It's really cool to see them come back and volunteer for our regionals and for the worlds. It takes an army of volunteers to run it, but they're in there with their visa swag on, or their Avalon Polygraphics, or like I said, Kraken, Oceaneering. Yeah. They're dispersed all throughout the kind of not just ocean tech sector, but the tech sector in Newfoundland. And usually, every now and then, I get someone calling me up for a reference and something else. He's Eastern Edge kid. I said, you're almost guaranteed a good candidate for sure. Aww, yeah,
that's really awesome. Yes. Okay. So I remembered my other question. To revisit something that you said, Michaela, I'm very curious about what those engineering presentations entail. Oh yeah, the engineering presentation is a 15-minute oral presentation that they do for a panel of judges, and the topic is their ROV. But the challenge that they're given is to not just give a technical debrief of every little thing on their ROV that they built, but they're actually trying to sell their ROV. So this is kind of structured like a little bit of a sales pitch. You're trying to convince a set of judges that your ROV is the best one at the competition and has the best features and that it's the most efficient. And you also are trying to showcase your team's engineering thinking and your design mindset and all that kind of stuff. Sure. Okay.
And no PowerPoint slide.
There's no extra visuals. The only props they can really have is the ROV in front of them. Oh, wow. So it's purely an oral presentation. So really, it's great because it really builds presentation skills. I've seen students start at Eastern Edge, the quietest, barely ever speak up. Very nervous and shy when they would have to speak in front of the group. To by their fourth year, they're leading the presentation and they're out front and now out in the workforce delivering presentations for products and things like that. So it can be a really great growth opportunity. Yeah, that's really amazing. That's really cool to see that development. I think do they have to do like an engineering journal or anything like that? Yep, they have to do a technical document. Sure. So it's 25 pages long. And that one does get more into the nitty-gritty technical details of the robot. And as well as their team structure, they have to show that they didn't just build an ROV abstractly they thought about the correct design decisions and thought about all of the different features that they're going to put into it and how it applies to this year's mission theme. And
so I guess that's probably a good point, just to mention a bit more of the structure of it is they get points for, I'll say the major things are technical document, your marketing display, your engineering presentation, and then your product demonstration. Product demonstration is the in the tank doing the things that supposed to do.
sure.
So all those are worth points. And then there's some other, I'll say, points for safety, community engagement, let's see, like outreach.
Yeah, community outreach.
Community outreach. So they get points for, again, I always say the easy one to get for teams is go help like a high school team or a junior high school team with their R&D. But there's a whole rubric for everything. So like I said, and then there's a bunch of side points. I don't really want to call them side points, but I did anyways. But your big ones are the four I listed. So that's what they get scored on. You come to do placement in each category, and the overall first, second, third kind of top thing is the accumulation of all your points. So you usually got to do pretty good in every category to get on the podium, I'll say. And the product demonstration probably is weighted a little bit higher. I'd say the other categories, I'll say 100-ish points for each of them. And I think you're about 300 points per product demonstration. So you can really separate yourself from the pack to have a really good ROE.
So you can do really well. Also,
you need to,
the communication aspects as well. Sure. And that's a very clever way to go about judging that. Because I think back in my day, my robotics team was never that great at selling themselves. I think we're focused way too much on like just the building of it. And then the communication part was a little lacking. Love the team, but, and that experience, but we were just not that great at it. And so we're kind of like pondering like why we didn't do that well. It's like, now I look back on that, it's like, oh yeah. And like realizing like how much, I think like just like through the scientific education that I've had up until this point is like, wow, like there is a lot that you like just need to be good at communicating to actually be an effective scientist. And it's not just about how well you know things. That's one of my pet peeves. Engineers, scientists, technical people, we are terrible writers and communicators sometimes.
And also the need for a diverse team. So as always at the beginning years, hey, make sure you reach out as far as you can. Get over to faculty of business. Try to get business people on it. They're doing really good. I'll say it used to be very engineering centric and being one, like all of our communications in bullet points. So that only goes so far, or I do anyways. But it's so now they have a couple people from the Faculty of Science on there, student from Maritime Studies, Nautical Science. We got RV, 2 RV students or UV students. Trying to think, I listed up all the letters to the deans and stuff. Business student,
somebody with an English major.
So there's grasping the concept of you just can't be a cluster of engineers and we're going to build the most awesome ROE ever. But they need that diverse team and get those different perspectives.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's something that not a lot of people would think about when you're thinking of a scientific endeavor like this. But like it takes definitely all kinds, and everyone has their own fun little role to play. Okay. So they're talking about how people kind of like matriculate out of the program and then end up finding themselves in like engineering careers and that sort of thing. And it's like, are there any ways that the program like kind of directs people into like resources that they can like lean into and like in hopes of entering different like marine / like aquatic careers?
Well, I would say yes, but we don't really do a great job at it. I'll be honest in it, but really the program MATE sits under MTS, Marine Technology Society. So that is a much larger organization where there is kind of those, I'll say, resources to direct people into to careers through their organization.
Okay, gotcha. Would you say that enough people take advantage of that?
No.
And
it's always a little bit, they also do student societies as MTS. So if you look in MTS, you'll see student societies around the world for MTS. That's probably the right mechanism that we need to set up there. We've tried a couple times, and it takes a little bit of effort to get it up running and keep it running. But from the student perspective, there is resources once you get it going to really highlight again all the resources for MTS, career transition and career opportunities and that side of things.
Yeah. Yes. So what would you say, as in your various roles within the program and previous experiences, what are some of the most gratifying experiences you've had within the program, be it like at the organizational or mentorship or competitive level?
It's always nice to win.
It's always nice. You never hate to win.
Yeah.
I think that there are so many. I think we could go on forever and a day talking about all the gratifying experiences, and that's why we do this, right? That's why we volunteer for MATE, or why people volunteer for MATE. That's why we became regional coordinators of MATE, because we find it very gratifying. But I think for me, it's, seeing those students who started in middle school and then have come all the way through, and getting to watch that growth in real time, watching them become adults, and you learning how to communicate well and, effectively manage their time and projects, and, mature and grow, and, getting to help them even a little bit in that process is really gratifying. So then when they do win and they get an award, you feel you've watched them, how hard they've worked for it and how long they've worked on it. So it is even more gratifying if they do happen to pull an award, because you're very connected that way.
Yeah. My favorite is actually our regional Scout competition. So Scout competition is junior high school. And it's an interesting dynamic. So we run Scout generally Friday and Ranger High School on Saturday. So Ranger, just to set it up, is a bit more serious because qualifying teams get a substantial travel stipend to go to Worlds. So sometimes you can hear a pin drop even if you go down to the viewing gallery type thing. They're all on corners of the building practicing their presentations and stuff like that. But Scout on Friday, there's no money on the line, so it's all for fun. And it's two totally different. The place is on wheels. You go down into the viewing gallery. It's like a monster truck, really. The cheering and the spading. And once you get one task done, like you can hear the eruption of cheers coming up from that spiral staircase that goes to the top of the thing. So the excitement that goes on during the Scout competition is pretty cool. That's what I think also the point where you re-engage those students of here's your career opportunity to go for. I think we connect with them at that point.
Yeah, when you have so much fun, it leaves a lasting impact, and you think, I want to keep doing that. Which is what happened to me. That's how I got sucked into it. I had so much fun in Scout, and then went to high school and got too competitive, but still had fun. And same thing in university. It was, it pulls you in.
Yeah.
For sure. That's really cool. In that same vein, I imagine you can guess what I'm going to ask is, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've experienced at multiple levels of MATE? Well, robots in water are hard. Electronics in water are hard. So, and obviously as organizers now, I don't have to worry about that as much because I'm not the one who has to build the robots anymore. So, but it does, make it hard for students and teachers when they're starting the program. It can be a complicated robot because of the water proofing and all the different pieces that need to go into that. So the getting over that hurdle of starting can be pretty challenging for teams. So we're working on that, trying to create more resources, trying to meet with teachers more where they're at, and trying to kind of support teams to get started. And usually then once they get started, they're usually hooked. We have a pretty good return rate. It's kind of getting started, but it can be difficult.
Yeah. I find the biggest challenge, I think I alluded to it earlier, is keeping up with the technology or the skill sets of the students of especially the Eastern Edge team, the universities. Just that I feel like I've mentoring maybe on the technical side rather than just the non-technical stuff. So yeah, that's
Sure. Yeah, I went back to my high school robotics team's workshop, and I was like, I feel like it would only been a couple of years out too. It was like, oh my god, like you have this new thing, and I was like, oh my 5 years, like waiting for materials. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on anymore.
yeah.
And that's been thing. So, and I think, especially like I think there's been like a huge like boom in like ocean technology in like recent years too. So that's got to be pretty insane to work with and gear up for that. I guess, what hopes do you have for the program going forward, and to what extent do you see yourselves or am I being involved with that?
We want to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
We don't want to do another Worlds next year. We want a break. I mean, again, the host probably Worlds again before waiting another 10 years. But recently it's just getting more teams involved. Right? We have a little bit more capacity without adding a day to the competition to bring in some more teams, especially we got a bit of room on the scout side of things for sure. But like I said, just keep growing it. What we've done is, like I said, reaching out to our after school groups, engage, give those opportunities more so than another day. I think that because it always depends on the mentor, and they're not always guaranteed that no guarantees they mentor anywhere. But our feelings kind of after those school groups is organized to have someone with a group of people. So that might be a avenue of, or if you got someone at school, hey, I don't have a team. Hey, if you go to this after school program, this is how you can engage. So if you've had that a few times and say, I got a kid that goes to this school, I was like, yeah, we reached out, and unfortunately there's not that mentor there to
sure.
kind of take it off. So
Right.
really is trying to eliminate, hey, I have to be in school, that barrier to how do you get on team.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
really, it's just we want to reach as many students as we can because, and I think it just speaks to the, again, I keep saying the word impact, but that's just the word
Yeah.
to use because it is so impactful. And we have this incredible group of volunteers. I think we must have the most volunteer regional.
We have one of the biggest regionals as well.
We do have
out
one of
of all the regionals.
Yeah.
We actually, technically, we already had an international regional because we had a team from St. Pierre this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We have an international competition.
So we had a scout team come up from St. Pierre. It was just, I guess, through connections within the Marine Institute. They got wind of it and I had a chat with one of the people in St. Pierre. And they're like, oh, this would be great down there. And I ended up going down there for a conference and did a workshop, a little bit of workshop while I was there. And hopefully Michaela will go down and do another workshop this year.
Yeah, they really loved it. So I think they're going to come back and
and they were all, I think, grade 8 or 9. So technically they should be Rangers next year.
Okay.
And then they should also be able to have a junior high school scout team. So hopefully they'll have 2 teams next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll grow it a little bit every time.
Yeah.
And we had, since we're on topic, we actually had a team for PEI.
Yeah.
And 2 teams from Nova Scotia. So
yeah.
Before we used to be just simply 9 teams, but being the only regional in Canada.
We're actually
helps.
not the only
Well,
regional.
no, that's true. But
So just this year, and this is why we forgot because they just started this year, but they started a regional in Quebec.
yeah, Rimouski.
Whoa. Yeah. So last year in 2025, the organizers came down to a regional to kind of meet with us and see, how regionals are run. And they started the first one this year, this May.
Yeah.
And I heard that it was a huge success.
I think that one again, I did think about the mid-community type thing. So it was one of the Eastern Range alumni got a job. Is Christian in Quebec too? I'm going to say Christian Sampson. I'll give you a shout out there. And he talked about it again. I forget what the federal government he's in, but they all talk about it. They all read about it. So it sounds like, oh, that sounds good. We should try something and that. And it took a little bit of time. They came down. I think you mentioned it already and observed our regional last year and they got started. So I think slowly it'll grow.
We are growing. Yeah, we are. Take our deal that we kind of growing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I guess in that very similar vein, aside from growing in size, how has MATE changed since its inception?
Well, the technology has changed a great deal in ways that, I wasn't there at the start, so I can't even speak to how much it's changed. But
yeah, I think there technology, but they're also more demanding on the students, especially you get up to university level before now they're getting into a lot of the autonomy. Like, okay, now take your hands off the joystick and run this transect autonomously. They'll get more points for it. They still, it's pretty cool that you don't need to be super whiz at whatever to do it. You can still do it manually, you just get less points. So they make the task, you have options to do them in a more is complicated method type thing or more technical, challenging method and get more points because you see a lot more vision recognition, autonomy, that sort of things. So I think the tasks, while they recycle some of the tasks they might do, but now how you're doing it is a lot more challenging.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Guys, keep everything fresh. And very relevant, I think, to the, I guess, the current climate. So, that's a huge part of it. Okay. It's in a little more maybe abstract thing. What 3 words would you use to describe MATE?
I'll put out. I'm cheating from MATE is inspire, right? Yeah. Fun.
I was going to say fun.
Yeah.
Fun is one of them. The first thought was fun because of, just that energy that we have at the competition. And even at the high school level where it does get a little more competitive, we're still having fun, just a more stressed life.
Sure.
I think, inspired or impact. I could have said that word probably 50 times since we started recording. It's very, it resonates a lot with a lot of students. And that's why we have such an extensive volunteer alumni network. We have people who've been coming back for, decades, some of them, because of, how much the program impacted them and, they want to keep it going and give back. So inspiring, impactful, definitely there.
Challenging.
Yeah. Challenging in the best ways. Like it challenges students in the ways that they need to be challenged, not just technically, but also interpersonally and personally.
Sure. Sweet. Thanks for that, y'all. Is there any other things you want people to know about the program, the championship, anything else in that sort of vein?
Well, the World Championships will be streamed on Twitch. Check out the channel MATE Inspires 1, where the events will be streamed. You can also come watch in person here at the Marine Institute. You can come to our
Thursday afternoon and all day Friday, pretty much. It might be challenging to get it. I guess there is probably a capacity number that could fit under in the flume tank, but we'll also have the live stream in various rooms throughout the Marine Institute.
Okay. Exciting.
Yeah. I encourage people to come down to check out the bugs and the feel of the place. It's electric.
Yeah. And our first ever is they do a bonus mission as a part of it every year. So usually it's a collaborative mission, but this year I'll be at our launch facility in Holyrood. So it'll be the first time in MATE history the RVs will be going in saltwater. I think there may have been saltwater pools before.
It is the first time.
Like the ocean.
It is the first ever saltwater task, and certainly the first time the ROVs have gone to the ocean. Some teams may test their ROVs in the ocean, but it's the first official mission task. So it's going to be super exciting to have all those things.
And for some teams, it might be the first time they ever see the ocean.
Yes, absolutely. So that's going to be very exciting. I think very, very different and unique.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, what's that one going to be like? Because I'm very interested now.
The mission? Yeah. So the mission itself is there's a company, Singleton Sonar, who have donated 24 sonars that each team will have an opportunity to mount the sonar to their ROV, go in the ocean and actually collect real sonar images of our dock facility in Holyrood. So we're going to put some targets in the water for them to look at and identify.
Sure.
So it's really cool. It's probably MATE is very much real ocean technology and the building ocean technology, but this is real life conditions, not just simulated in a pool, but actual sonars in the actual ocean, just like any research or scientific project or industry project would be.
That's crazy cool. Oh my gosh. It's the first time that they're getting exposed to saltwater with these animals.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll see how many work the next day.
And it might be even worse in the Nature Boise lab. There could be whales out there.
Oh my
Yeah, so we'll see what the wildlife is like
Yeah.
on Saturday. So hopefully we'll get a bit of a show
Yeah.
from the marine like out there.
I'm hoping for whales.
Yeah.
I tried to talk to the whales that have been in Hollywood for the last couple of weeks to say, come back on the 27th.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Sure, I got you. Do you think that'll, like, if that goes well, do you think that'll set like a precedent for upcoming world championships in the future?
If it goes well.
If it goes well, then maybe, yeah. And it is tricky because, we have very unique facilities here in Newfoundland and at the race too that we don't, think of or would certainly take for granted. It's hard to find facilities like what we have everywhere else. So
Sure.
there's not always an opportunity at every world championship venue host to do something like this. So we're very lucky to be able to have something like that.
Yeah, they're going to see a lot of cool stuff. Even when they go down and their sonar testing here, when they do their safety checks, they go to our ROV shop. So they're going to be, they have a WaveCast, one of the big world-class ROVs. So really that's, the kind of the pinnacle of, kind of the big, really heavy world-class industrial ROV stuff. So they really get to see all those real big visual cues when they're out at the launch. They'll see Thomas underwater vehicles we have out there, Thomas surface vehicles, the ROVs that we have out there, all the cool tech that we use for ocean mapping.
Sure.
Right, so it's there'll be a lot for them to take in that they usually don't always get at everything.
No, it's really kind of surreal. I even remember as a competitor, like you're building this robot and you're kind of building it because the manual told you to build it, but you're not. And it's connected to real life somehow, but you can't really visualize it until you come here and you see big ROVs. You're, ROVs are real, and they actually use them in the real world. It's not just something that meat build up.
Yeah,
right?
and as big as a bus.
And as big as a bus, yeah. So it should be a great experience for a lot of students. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's really cool to know that like we as MI have a stake in that. That's really cool. Especially like with something that's growing and is spreading on an international scale, and just giving a lot of opportunities to the next generation for to have a leg up in the marine science world, which is like something I think about a lot. And it's like, because like you have like so many kids that like grow up and it's like I want to be a marine biologist or like any sort of like marine scientist. It's like they don't really know how to get there, and so it's really cool that you're kind of giving them an avenue to kind of like to at least get them started a little bit and get inspired into.
Yeah, I think the thing of it is the ocean literacy, just in general, the ocean literacy side of the competition. Now they all don't read the manual from page 1 to page 98 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the missions like this year, we've been involved based on what's going on in the backyard, between the basic green crab, the coral discovery up on Punk Islands, our oil and gas industry. So every mission has a very extensive preamble to why you're doing this mission. So it really, for the student, I'll say that gets in there, reads it from cover to cover. There's links out to everything, that thing that really, you can go down that rabbit hole of, hey, you made some green crab, like, what's that about this? And they might even say, oh, I don't have green crab, whatever, let's say four of that, what's that starfish? The Violet Orange or something, or the line fish or whatever. Like, it might just as hard. So I want to get involved with this and figure out how to, solve that problem.
Totally. We have like high school students, coming into university if they're interested in marine biology, whatever it might be. They're coming in and they've heard of an eDNA sensor because they had to pick one up and install it in the MATE ROV competition. They might not know the ins and outs of an eDNA sensor, but they've heard that word before.
Yeah.
I remember for me, I went offshore to the Punk Island programs and they were deploying the eDNA sensor. I know what that is. I'm not a marine biologist. I'm a hydrographer, so I don't really know a lot about marine biology except from what I learned from the MATE ROV competition. So I know what an eDNA sensor is because of the MATE competition.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's so nifty. I think, God, I don't know. I had a thing in my brain and then wonder where. Oh, okay. Yes, I remember now. So this year's challenges seem to be very, very, very related, as you were saying, Joe, to Newfoundland and the problems that we have here, like the industries that we are most known for. And so we're also holding the World Championship this year. So is that usually a trend that occurs? Is like the challenges are catered to the place where the world's going to be?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
Because some people 2 years ago was in, no, last year, nope, 2 years ago it was in Kingsport, Tennessee. And people are like, what are you doing, are these in the middle of, not in the ocean, essentially.
Mhm.
But same thing is they're doing freshwater stuff. It was around, I think, was it sturgeon
Yeah.
Sturgeon
Yep.
population.
population?
Invasive species.
Yep, invasive species, hydroelectric dams, inspection, right? So people, it's not always big oil, gas, big ROVs doing heavy intervention, but especially you see the changes in technology in ROVs that smaller form factor, lower prices, they're used a lot more in different industries, but definitely a lot of, I'll say, freshwater applications as well. But they definitely lean on the theme of the host for worlds and kind of generate what the tasks are.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
got you. And then, okay, so then follow up to that is for when the hold up. How do I phrase this in a way that makes sense? Um, does where the world championship's going to be held, is that usually correlated to a place where there is like a regional mate like competition?
Typically, yes. They're not exclusively,
Okay.
but typically, yeah. And that's just partly because, I'm sure when they organize and competing, they have connections to all these different places in the world where there are regional competitions. So, Tennessee. I'm not sure if Tennessee had a regional before they hosted it.
They might, the first season might have been when they hosted the first time.
Yeah. But next year we're going to Seattle, or just way outside of Seattle.
If we qualify.
We qualify. It needs to qualify. But so we potentially be going to Seattle, where there is a regional, Pacific Northwest regional. Then to Long Beach, California, where there's a regional nearby Long Beach, not in Long Beach, but in Monterey, kind of near.
Long Beach is not.
Is not near at all. 6 hours.
Yeah.
But generally, so not exclusively. Last year it was in Alpena, Michigan, where they do have a regional. But it's not exclusively where regionals are.
No, Mate Vegas probably has a good network of, I'll say, there's usually something ocean tech kind of campus or something where they have people that are intimately involved with mates, or MTS is a bigger network. And like, yeah, we can post one here. Okay. But generally there usually is a regional tied to it, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, because I was like thinking it feels like in a sense you would be a little limited, but okay, then you're not necessarily. It's just, I think like all the different places you could go and then have students be able to experience new places with their respective challenges to get a little bit more of a breadth of knowledge of all the kind of like issues that need solving and that we could use some extra help with in the world. And so that's really cool. Okay. Are there any other notes that you wish to impart to any listeners that we have?
I think if anything we said today is interesting, you can reach us at mate-nl@mi.mon.ca.
Yep.
If you're interested in volunteering,
Starting a team.
Anything.
Yep.
We can help connect you with the right people and get you started.
Yay! Oh my gosh. So that's delightful. Nice. So thank you so much, Joe and Michaela, for joining us on WaveCast today. To learn more about MATE or figure out, how you can get involved, go ahead. Reach out to the email that Michaela just mentioned, or check out their website, materovcompetition.org. And that's all we have for y'all today, but stay tuned for more episodes from us here at WaveCast. And if there's anything you want to share with us or want to learn more about, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at wavecast@mi.mun.ca. And until next time, stay wavy, my friends.